We are here to kick coal out of Oregon and out of the Northwest. I don't know about you guys, but I am tired of coal. I am so tired of hearing about people getting sick, tired about hearing about kids that can't bathe in their own water without getting sick. I'm tired about hearing about kids with asthma and autism. And I am tired of hearing about mountaintop removal mining, strip mining, and people's land being taken over for our energy use. And so we are here to make that end. And we have some great program for you today. We are going to have some speakers from the Powder River Basin, where we get our coal here in Oregon. So we mine our coal out in Montana and Wyoming, and we truck it in on trains. 200 trains every single year come to the Boardman coal plant, and each train carries like 13,000 tons of coal, and we burn 300 tons of coal every single hour at the Boardman coal plant, and that is just way too much. We have way too gluttonous of an energy need to have this happen. We need to end this. And we are going to do a representation of how our coal gets from the Powder River Basin to the Boardman coal plant. So most people don't really think about where our electricity comes from. 200 trains of coal come to the Boardman coal plant every year, and we are burning lots and lots of coal.
All aboard! Well, get on board!
I hope that we can get together and accomplish a great deal with our joint efforts in solving this problem. And it is a problem. It's a very real problem. And I really enjoyed the coal train here much more than I enjoy the coal train back in Gillette, because whenever I see it in Gillette, I'm reminded of John Denver's immortal song, whenever he sings that Mr. Peabody's coal train done hauled it away. And unfortunately, there's an awful lot of that is happening in our area. You can see over here, Brad took some pictures of the surface mining in the Powder River Basin area, and that is, some of the pictures there are from what was part of our ranch. We have not received any money on the thing. We've never asked for anything. We had the idea that we were going to get the land back after the coal mines were through with it. And so far, with our cattle, we've lost around 6,000 acres of grazing land, and we have never had a cow that got a mouthful of reclaimed land grass. It's strictly a one-way street with the coal companies, and unfortunately we don't have much choice in what's done. In Wyoming, we have the best legislature and the best laws that money can buy, and unfortunately industry has much more money to pass around than Otto and I do from our point of view. We've had I've been personally into the Wyoming Supreme Court twice. We were defeated both times. I thought that we got robbed. But I'm not going to pass judgment on the Supreme Court justices. The one thing I object to was that the court in Gillette, Wyoming, and the Wyoming Supreme Court affirmed their decision, was that they ruled that the highest and best use of my property is for a right-of-way for industrial easements. And I really object to that. I'm the third generation on that land. My grandparents homesteaded it in 1918. 100 years ago, there was no miners in the area. It was strictly 98% of the people had an agricultural basis. 2% had other, store owners, this type of thing. Today, I don't think you could find 98%, or I don't think you can find 2% of the people that don't have some connection to the coal and gas industry there. It's overwhelming. It takes away everything that you can do because you have no rights. There's one thing that counts, and that is industry. It is the payroll. I'm one of these people, you have to hit him over the head a time or two, a 2x4, to get his attention. But I ran for the state legislature, or state senate here this last election, and as a Democrat in Wyoming, you kind of have a little bit of a problem. In our county, in my proposed Senate district, we have the Democrats are outnumbered 13-1. And it makes it interesting, but you can still get in there, you can raise a little hell, and you can stand up for what you believe in. And I really believe that we need to do something about this damn coal. There is no such thing as clean coal.
That's right.
We talk about carbon sequestration. Our area in there, it's a big issue in Wyoming right now. They're going to take the carbon and they're going to bring it back and they're going to pump it underneath my land and into my water, and I'm supposed to be happy about it. And I'm sure that the Supreme Court will tell me that the highest and best use of your water is to take this carbon dioxide in. And I don't think I'm going to believe it then whenever I hear it, but it's coming. And the only thing I think that we have for guarantees is that we have to guarantee the right of our children and our grandchildren to know some of the clean air and the clean water that we've grown up and expected, and we'd like to see them, or I would like to see them. I'm sure that all of you people here would like to see the same thing. And the only way that we can do it, I think, is if we start looking hard at the energy that we're using today. We're going to have to try to find different ways of doing things. We're going to have to be more conservative with how we use our energy in the past. And I hope that you will all go home and that you'll think twice, because what the act of turning on your light bulb out here is destroying the country that I've grown up in and learned to love all my life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, LJ. And now I'd like to introduce Barbara Braided here, a Northern Cheyenne tribal member.
My name is Barbara Braided hair. I come from a small village called Bernie, Montana. I was fortunate to be raised there with my grandmother, who raised me since infancy. She told me the stories about the homestead that we originally homesteaded there in the Otter Creek Tracts, which is right now being threatened for development of coal development. And based on a lie, we were moved from our home. And we now live on what we call the reservation. And when we originally homesteaded in the Otter Creek area, that's where we grew to love the land, and that was our home until we were forcibly moved. So I have 3 children of my own, and they will have children. And they have every right to that land. We want our land back. We want to be able to raise our families there just as well as you raise your families where you are. And the old stories, fortunately, I learned the Cheyenne language, customs and traditions, and through those stories, the oral histories, she told me the plight, the trauma of having to be moved from our homeland and being moved forcibly and being lied to and told you'll come back to your home. This is just temporary. But back then, nobody really understood English and didn't understand the terms that they were moving. To this day, we have never been able to move back to those Otter Creek tracts where our family is buried, where ceremonies were held, where our family was raised. So right now it's being threatened. And again, what LJ said is, each time you turn on your light, realize that goes back to the heartland of our people. where our families grew up, where our history is, where our ceremonies continue to be. So each time you turn on that light, remember that there's a possibility that gaping hole, those pictures that are here, that shows you just a snapshot of what it is to be living next to that whole development. And ask for your leaders to look at better ways of energy, and so that we can preserve our homeland and continue to raise our families there. I come here today from Montana, away from my people, away from my family, to plead with you to get the word out, to say no more coal, no more development, and that there are other ways, better ways of continuing the energy that we're so used to. So from my heart, I would like to say thank you for coming today. I'd like to thank the Sierra Club for organizing this, and thank you for coming and being part of this. And continue. I see that there's a really good support here, and on our way we have what we call Hagoshishin. Means it's a spirit. It's a spirit from the women that we sound out to our warriors. And you are our warriors. You're the ones that are going to help change this for us, and to continue for us to live in harmony that we want to continue to. So I'd like to do that for you, so that way it gives you the energy and gives you the spirit to continue doing what you are doing here today. Aho.
I'm proud and honored to be here. Speak up for my people, the traditional Cheyenne. There's a number of messages that could be told and have been told about the environment and what's going on with it. The Cheyenne have a strong, deep connection, relationship to the environment, ceremonial, spiritual. And we cannot support destruction to the elements that are in our environment, the water, the plants, the animals. And so I'm here to talk against that destruction to our environment, to our home. It doesn't matter if it's in Montana or here, anywhere in the U.S., anywhere in the world. We cannot continue the destruction. This is where 2010, as people, as Americans, we've accomplished so much, we've built so much, we've done so much. We need to put our minds and our hearts together to find something better for our homes. And it's not just as human beings. The plants live here too. The animals, the insects. We have to find ways, we have to put our minds and hearts together, our prayers together, and tell the congressman who's ever in charge to think about the generations ahead. Our old people made decisions for generations ahead, not just for today, not just for present day, not just for the children, but for grandchildren and great-grandchildren and so forth. They made decisions for them. We need to tell whoever's in charge to think about the generations ahead so that they can enjoy these lands in this area, so that they can live and grow in a nice, decent environment. And as I said, there could be a number of messages to be told, but that's my message today.
We are not building a sustainable future for the next generation, and we really need to step it up And so you may be wondering, well, what can I do? And we have plenty of things for you to be able to do. Last week, we had a big hearing with a regional energy body called the Northwest Power and Conservation Council, and they helped decide the region's energy mix. And we had 150 people come out last week to say, we don't want coal in our future for the region's energy mix. And they are still taking comments. And we are here at Sierra Club actively working again to get coal out of Oregon and the Northwest. And we feel that that starts with shutting down Oregon's only coal plant, the Boardman coal plant. Portland General Electric runs Oregon's only coal-fired coal plant, which releases 5 million tons of carbon dioxide into the air every single year, not to mention lots and lots of toxins. And we want to end that. So we will be calling upon you early next year. Keep your ear to the ground, because the Public Utilities Commission is going to be looking at PGE's plan to burn coal for another 30 years here in Oregon, and we don't want to do that.
The Bureau of Land Management is right now in our area is taking environmental impact study on a major expansion of the coal mines there. And the BLM, using their own figures, says that in the past they have dropped our surface water, our aquifer that fuels our springs and our creeks, by 5 foot. And they don't make a projection on what we're going to lose in the future. Now you might not notice out here on the river a 5-foot drop, but out in our arid country you certainly do. And to carry it even further, the Wyoming Geological Survey has just finished a study about a month ago. They published their report, and it shows that every water well in the Powder River Basin has gone down. And the closest test well to our ranch is about 20 miles away, and it showed a 600-foot drop in the water level in that test well. So it's there, we're getting it, it's a continuing thing, and I'm afraid that it's going to continue unless we can really do something to stop it.